Today, we will be introducing how to create products using the UWS system.
In the supplier ID column, filter by the supplier ID. Let's take this supplier ID as an example. Now, we know which products need to be created under this merchant. Next, open the merchant backend and enter the supplier ID we just filtered. Select Self-Operated, then click Search. Now, we can start creating the products in the backend. Check the product list and click Batch Add Products. Then, after entering the Batch Add Product section, you will see multiple categories to choose from. You need to classify the products based on the list provided. For each product type, check the corresponding category in the table. You can use an AI tool such as ChatGPT to get a rough idea of what kind of product it is. Run an initial classification through ChatGPT and then match the result to the corresponding category in our system. Let's take moisturizer as an example. Here, select the corresponding category, then copy the category name and search for it here to download the templates. Now, the template has been downloaded to your local computer. When you open the file, you will see that it contains different fields for each product category, providing the information required for product creation. Each field also includes valid values, and there's a section for valid brands, which we will use later. First, copy the header row and paste it into a separate draft sheet. Next, fill in each field one by one. For example, I will place the category here as a filter option. The product code corresponds to the UPC in our order sheet. For the default product name, the order form provides several separate columns, such as the product name, version, color code, and specification. When naming the product, we need to combine these elements into one complete name. So, we can write a formula on the draft sheet to merge them automatically, download the results all at once, and then fill them into the templates. As for the product description, if it's not provided by the merchant, we will outsource it to have someone find or create the appropriate description. Next is the brand column. In this part, the merchant usually provides brand information, but most of the time we still need to optimize and match it to the brand names in our system. For example, we can copy the brand column here. Once copied, you will see that each brand name has a corresponding brand code. This code is what the system actually recognizes. If you try to upload only the brand name, it will trigger an error because the name itself cannot be recorded directly. The next step is uploading the main product images. You will need merchant or the outstanding team to provide product photos. Once you have the images, paste the links or file path into the corresponding columns. There are three mandatory images types: the main image, the color swatch image, and the detail image. These three must be uploaded. If any of them are missing, it's okay. You can add them later in the quick product creation tool. But ideally, it's best to have all the images ready and uploaded at once, so that everything runs smoothly in the later steps.
Next is the inventory column. We usually set all inventory values to 0 by default. As for the length, width, and height fields, if the merchant provides these measurements, just enter the values directly. If not, you can estimate them based on the product title. Since the title usually includes both the product type and its specifications. In this case, you can use ChatGPT to generate approximate dimensions. Just input the product name and details, and ChatGPT will give you a rough estimate of the product's length, width, and height, just like this. Once it gives you the results, just copy and paste the values into the sheet. You can also fill in the quantity per unit as 100, for example. After that, fill in the length, width, and height, and the unit field can be left blank. You can skip the SKU image section for now. The price corresponds to the final purchase price from the order sheet. One thing to pay close attention to is that the purchase price must not include any units. It has to be in numeric format only. Also, the decimal places must be limited to 2 digits. If there are more than 2 decimal places, the system will reject it. So, make sure to set the correct number format before uploading. The warehouse field can be left blank. Next, for the suggested retail price, it should be filled in US dollar. Check whether the merchant has provided this value. If not, we will use a standard formula to calculate it. Suggested retail price equals purchase price times 3.5. Next is the color field, which corresponds to the color information here. If you find any blanks, double-check the category to see why it's missing. For example, except for makeup categories, perfumes should be filled in as transparent. For all other non-makeup categories, you can simplify fill in multicolor. You can also do this in bulk. Our general rule is, if the product has a specification, we fill in the specification column. If it doesn't, we fill in the net content column. If there's no net content field in that category, we then move on to size, and so on, choosing whichever applies. For instance, lipsticks require specific color information, but for other product types, you can just fill in multicolor to complete the field quickly. The corresponding field name in the sheet is specification. These are the key fields we need to fill in. Once everything is complete, we can paste the data back into our main local sheet according to the category. Once you've finished and saved your local sheet, go back to the supplier backend and upload the file you just completed. The system will start processing and show you the number of successful and failed entries, as well as the reasons for any errors. If the upload is successful, the products won't be published immediately. They will be saved in the draft box for review and further editing. After uploading, the products will appear gradually in the draft box as the system processes them. Once all your products have been generated in the draft box, you can select all and click Batch Publish to release them all at once. That's how you can successfully publish your products. If some uploads fail, you can open the error details to check what went wrong. For example, it may say, "Brand does not exist." In that case, you can go back to your original sheet and trace the issue. Check which brand caused the error and why it doesn't exist in the system. Sometimes the error occurs because the store hasn't been linked to that brand yet. In that case, you will need to ask the branding team to bind the brand to that store. Usually, it's good practice to randomly inspect 2 or 3 items to confirm everything looks right. If there are no issues, you can proceed with Batch Publish. Once published, the products will move to the Publication Records section and enter a pending final review status. After that, you will need to wait for the audit team to review the batch. This process usually takes around 2 hours before it's transferred to their queue. The review team will then check all the products. If any problems are found, the items will appear under returned or revision, and you will need to fix the issues according to the feedback and resubmit them for final approval. That's the overall process from uploading to final review.